Imagine you are a taxi driver. Two passengers get in and ask to go to an office exactly 9 miles away. You put the car in drive, navigate the streets, and drop them off right on time. Now, let's rewind that exact scenario. The passengers get in, but right before you hit the gas, you secure a thick blindfold over your eyes. If you insisted on driving like this, your passengers would likely describe you as irrational. You cannot reach a specific intended destination if you literally cannot see the road. This is exactly how human reasoning works. When we form a logical conclusion, our minds take two separate premises and drive them to a mental destination. We have to possess the mental sight to recognize how those premises connect. If the naturalistic worldview is true, we are demanding that our minds operate like that blindfolded driver. We are trusting a system that claims to navigate complex logic while effectively removing the mechanism that allows us to see the destination. To understand why, we have to look at the rules of naturalism. In this view, everything, including our own thoughts, is the result of blind physical processes, subatomic particles and molecules colliding without any direction or intended outcome. But there is a logical boundary here. A thing cannot give rise to something if it does not contain it. I cannot give you $500 if I do not have the money. When we pull rational insight out of non-rational matter, the logic fails. Physical particles do not possess insight. They do not see the conclusion that follows from an argument. They simply move. Expecting these blind physical collisions to produce a valid logical deduction is like expecting our blindfolded driver to navigate traffic. The physical process itself has no intentional force directing it to a destination. Atheism relies on the very reason it effectively nullifies. It asks us to trust a conclusion reached by a process it defines as blind. The common response to this problem is evolutionary. The argument is that our brains evolved to be rational because accurately knowing the truth about our environment helped our ancestors survive. However, the mechanics of evolution are geared towards survival and reproduction, not objective truth. If a false belief keeps an organism alive, natural selection has no reason to correct it. We see this in mimicry. A bird may avoid a harmless caterpillar because it mimics the colors of a poisonous one. The bird survives, but its survival is based on a false belief. There is no direct link between evolutionary success and the attainment of truth. This contradiction gave Charles Darwin what he called a horrid doubt. He questioned whether the convictions of a human mind, which developed from lower animals, were of any value or at all trustworthy. Biologists often point to evolutionary reliabilism, the idea that selection favored truth-reliable faculties. But these faculties carry a heavy biological cost. Processing detailed inferences and storing data requires significant oxygen, calories, and time. Because of that cost, natural selection often favors cheap, safe assumptions over expensive truths. As cognitive scientist Steven Pinker notes, our brains were shaped for fitness, not for truth. Even neuroscientist Sam Harris admits that our logical, mathematical, and physical intuitions were not designed by natural selection to track objective truth. If our minds are strictly survival machines shaped by unguided forces, we have no objective basis to trust them for anything beyond survival. Yet humans routinely engage in behaviors that defy the mandate to simply survive. We strap ourselves to tons of combustible fuel and blast ourselves into the lethal vacuum of space just to see what is there. We endure whiteout blizzards to reach the summit of Everest. We see monks embracing isolation and celibacy to seek inner peace. These actions offer no adaptive reproductive benefits. An unguided evolutionary framework struggles to account for a species that overrides its own survival instincts to comprehend the cosmos. Our drive for higher rational learning and absolute truth is an anomaly that breaks the rules of a purely material world. This brings us back to our taxi driver. To drive premises to a conclusion, the mind must possess sight. Rationality can only come from rationality. Islamic theism addresses this through the principle that a thing cannot give what it does not contain. Just as a blind process cannot produce sight, a non-rational process cannot produce reason. Our ability to form mental insights follows logically if those faculties were granted by a creator who is all-seeing, the knowing, and the wise. We were equipped with these rational tools specifically so we could decipher the principles of the universe. By pondering these signs, we can appreciate the creative power that allows us to reason in the first place. The irony is that using logic to deny a creator is self-defeating. Without a rational creator to account for our minds, the very logic being used to deny him has no foundation to stand on.